Like, mentally, the slavery is not physical anymore. It's mental. The New World Order has come in the shape of electronics. You know what I'm saying? Taking away your mind from what you want to apply it to.
Cause and effect, karmic cycle. Study the laws. Dwell into your mind, meditate. Understand that you can alter your realms by your train of thought.
I think we all figured out that we are fighting some kind of a war. It might feel like it's a spiritual war, like it's a global war of some sort, like we're all in it. It's a quantum, physical, cosmic fight of some sort. I've been in an existential crisis since I was 12, and I've been asking a lot of questions. No one gave me the rule book or instructions. I've just been told, girl, you gotta fight. And so I've been doing that since. Did a lot of thinking, journaling, watching videos, listening to podcasts, observing people who have it figured out, and it always seems that they all talk about the same thing, some kind of a mental war that we all fight. And I've been thinking about this concept of a mental war a lot, an inner fight. Who am I fighting though? I've started questioning, I've started hating on myself for even having that thought. Why is it a war? Why living on this earth has to feel like a war? Why everything has to be about me convincing myself that it will be this way and not this way? Why it has to be me constantly noticing evil in the world and ego in me and trying to alchemize it to feel some type of a different way? A war is actually a war if both sides agree to participate in it. I have enough background and experience to be grateful that I live in a mental war, and this state is very, whimsical and not physical. And I am able to take my power back and my responsibility back and be grateful for the fact that I'm in much more control than people who live in a physical state of war. The war that we live in, most of us, people who watch this video, is probably only mental. It's just energy work. It's a lot of psychological tricks. It's a lot of persistence, a lot of consistency in being real with yourself, a lot of journaling, a lot of thinking about thinking about thinking, a lot of realizing that analyzing is bad, sometimes just letting go. So this mental war is insanely confusing. You can just always win. You can always take back the control by understanding your responsibility in this game. Treat life like a game. Make life your bitch. I love X for it because he was the first person to give me an actual instruction to soothe my overthinking about life, to soothe my why am I even here? What is going on? Why is this war going on in my mind? What is happening? I understood that I'm so much more powerful than I think, and it will take a lot of time, a lot of patience, a lot of confusing nights to figure this out. So the first step to win the war in your mind is to understand the battlefield. You gain some kind of territorial orientation. You kind of break out of the egg and you become a bit more conscious of your surroundings. Obviously, we still don't know why we're here on this earth. With this like, oh wow, I live in a world and it looks like this, you automatically gain responsibility. Being on this earth is such a big blessing to just be revealed to all this beauty of frustration and pain and emotion and love and affection and connection. Like all of this, the whole entire spectrum means huge responsibility to take control over your mind. So let's understand this battlefield that is your mind in order to stop this war, which means to win it, which means to not even start it, which means there was no war, it's just your mind. Okay, so initially this video started with me reading this book in the morning, just laying here, still in my pajamas, drinking my coffee. It's called The Diary of a CEO by Steven Bartlett. So it was a chapter about weakening beliefs. You can weaken any belief if you move intentionally. And it didn't talk about weakening your own beliefs or how to control your mind, but I kind of put this template on myself because I understand that as within, so without. So reading a business book really helps me figure out what's going on in my mind, because I really feel like even me helping you with these videos in some type of way, acting like someone who knows something about psychology, really helps me understand how I can control my mind, how I can move intentionally in my life. So in order to sell, you need to be able to persuade and convince. You have to know how to control minds, what words to use, what psychological tricks to know in order to convince this person to buy something from you. In order to change a belief, in order to weaken some kind of a system in your mind of self-doubt, of anxiety, of an old wound, of like a trauma of, I'm unlovable, or I don't deserve to be successful, or I feel guilty for this, or I'm ugly, like anything like that. It's some kind of a belief. You're able to weaken it just as you're able to weaken a belief of a community when we're talking business, when we're talking money, power, control, and government. This was actually about flat earth, how people believe in flat earth in America. And you can't convince them that it's not true by attacking their belief. It's absolutely counterproductive. The most useless thing you can do in an argument or in a discussion is to try to convince the person you're talking to that they are wrong and you are right by presenting your opinion the same way with your mind. In order to weaken your old belief is to try to push it on the old one without understanding the old one first. So take a step out of your mind. This first way how to win the mental war is to take a step out of your mind, is to disconnect your thoughts from your feelings, is to understand that the person speaking, the person who wants to actually win the war, is the one who is in control, who is responsible for the self-talk, who is responsible for the new belief systems. So the seller, basically, the businessman in the conversation, I want to help, or the government, or whatever, the person in control. You're trying to make someone understand something. So the rule here is let them talk. This is genius, actually. In order to weaken a belief, it's the best to stop presenting your own and let the person talk so they can understand that they're wrong on their own. You don't have to talk to help them understand that they're full of shit. Sometimes people believe in things with no backup story. Sometimes people believe in things with no explanation because the initial idea made them feel some type of way. Some people go carnivore because they heard that it's a primal way of eating. But when you let them talk and explain the idea to you in detail and actually use arguments and maybe not research, but just actually explain in detail the whole process of thinking, they will understand that they're full of shit on their own. You don't have to work hard presenting your perspective because they will feel the need to protect themselves. That's how you sell an idea. You sell an idea of a globe to people by letting them explain to you in detail what they actually think about the flat earth. So they will understand that they don't have competence to compete with you with your new belief that you're trying to present. And so they will begin to discover your technique and become more interested in listening to you because they feel like the battlefield is empty on their side. They need to fill it with something, so they will listen to your idea. So you'll have more freedom to express and you will be able to convince them further. It is the same idea with the less pressure you apply, the less resistance you create, the more results you're able to generate. So it works the same in business as with your own mind. If you take a step back out of your mind, if you let it talk, if you let it express the confusion and frustration, if you let the anxiety be, I talked about this a few times. I don't even remember the names of the videos, but you can just binge watch all my videos and you'll figure this out. This was a thought I already expressed. But the more you focus on anxiety, the more you talk about it, the more you try to fix it, the more it persists. So in order to take back the control and the power of your mind, you need to let your mind talk. Let the idea be. Let the anxiety and the fear be there in order for it to flow through you and leave your space. So you need to let the opponent present their idea so the opponent, which is your mind, the battlefield, can clear itself because you will understand that there's actually nothing to fear. There is no constructive, detailed explanation to why you are in pain. Nothing happened. It's just some kind of a response. You don't have to go into detail of digging up traumas. You just understand by journaling, by analyzing, by meditating, praying, talking to yourself in the mirror, talking to someone, being vulnerable. There are so many ways to do this. I'm not talking about techniques. I'm talking about ways how to win this. You will figure out that there is no constructive explanation to your pain. If you stop convincing yourself and attacking yourself with affirmations, attacking yourself with positive routines and, all of these perfect mindsets, you're hard on yourself. If you attack fear with fear, it multiplies. So take a step back out of your mind, let the opponent speak, and you will figure out that you can discredit this idea on your own. You don't have to fear it. You don't have to convince yourself that it will get better. You will just understand that it is better right now, and this idea of a positive outcome is possible, and it is something that you deserve. And I've noticed that some people actually don't even fight in the war. They don't even think about it. I just look at some people and I admire how present they're able to be, how much beauty is in their eyes just because they are automatic. Sometimes being automatic and natural is way more powerful than trying to understand everything and trying to isolate in order to figure things out. And I've been there. I am there. I'm the most isolated person that I know, and it might not seem like it. And I've been getting comments of, "Ooh, you will never understand solitude and isolation unless you move out and you live on your own." It might look beautiful, I might look pretty, but I'm telling you, you don't have to know everything. I don't want to lose any more aura points by trying to explain how lonely I am. You just believe me, I'm probably the most isolated person you know as well. I've been in my Dr. Doofenshmirtz era trying to figure things out since I was a little kid. Like, genuinely, moving out didn't help. Nothing really made me connect to people. I've just been getting smarter and smarter every year on my own. I just want to tell you, you don't have to do it. You really don't have to do it. Sometimes being ignorant is the way. Not in an ego manner, just living your fucking life. Please live your life. Don't try to understand everything. If you have opportunity to live your life, experience, be happy, be joyful, travel, connect, be affectionate, love, just do it. Don't try to escape into this dark room of self-exploration and existential dread. You don't need it. You don't need it. You don't need it. Sometimes you just can't escape. This next way how to win your war within your mind is to not isolate. Your mind will create more problems, more things to cry about, more things to complain about if you don't stimulate it in real life ways. And I'm done complaining and bragging about how dysregulated our hormone systems are and how messed up our dopamine system is. But just don't isolate yourself. Whatever you do, talk to people. Strengthen your social skills. Seek communication, affection, real connections, movement, real food, exposure to the sun. Move your body. Move your mind, move your lymphatic system. You are a human being and you deserve to be seen, you deserve to be heard. And I know how much it hurts. I know how... Do I really have to be vulnerable to make this point credible? That I've been ghosting everyone in my life because it felt easier. Because I felt so misunderstood and so deeply unique in my suffering. I felt no matter how much I explain, how much I feel, how much I express, and even how much I'm listened to, there is no point, because being vulnerable doesn't equate solving my problems. And I felt like I was just putting my pain on someone who can't help me. And I was losing confidence by always speaking about my problems. Negative aura around me without solving an issue, without getting help, just messing up everyone's day and mine. So I decided that it's the best to ghost everyone around me and just be alone and just figure it out on my own, which kind of helped, kind of didn't. The only thing I can say is definitely not healthy to be alone most of your life. If you spend most of your time alone, you have more time to think and figure things out. You have more time to work. You have more time to understand who you are, because sometimes people overcompensate and they fill their lives with so much stimulation. Even if it's people, even if it's friends, they just don't even have the courage to sit with their thoughts. But I feel like I've accumulated so much courage to sit with my thoughts that there is nothing left but my thoughts, and it is dangerous. So what I want to say, if you're in this ghosting everyone, even your therapist mode, force yourself to be vulnerable with people, because this need to isolate, this need to disconnect, this need to stay alone with yourself and try to soothe yourself on your own is a response to fear of being vulnerable. The point is to express and to feel that you are not alone, and not to fix your problem. The problem we just talked about, this anxiety, doesn't go away because you tell it to go away. You have to let it be. So you have to express and let everything that flows through you be in the conversation, in a safe place, in your community, present as it is, raw, and you have to force yourself to be vulnerable at least 5 minutes a day with one person. It can be on a call with your friend. It can be your therapist if it's the last option that you have. It can be your mom listening to how your day went. You can just be honest about everything that goes through your mind, because it's one of the ways to kind of let your mind talk. It's one of the ways that I talked about just 5 minutes ago. One of the ways to help yourself discredit some of the unconstructive criticism, doubt, fear, and anxiety that can come up. So when you express it, you let yourself feel like a part of something bigger. Even if you're not understood, you can be heard and you can be there, and it's safe to be vulnerable. You create space for your mind to let things out. Okay, the next way how you can help yourself win this mental war is to master the skill of self-talk. I cannot stress this enough. Self-talk is the most powerful tool you have. It's basically controlling your thoughts. It's basically me summing up everything I just said. Self-talk is the key to controlling your thoughts. And I just watched this podcast, what was it, a video? I don't know. It was just like a little 15-minute podcast clip with Mel Robbins talking about self-doubt, how to stop doubting yourself and stuff like that. Your sense of feeling like your effort is worth it begins and ends with how encouraging, supportive, and kind you are to yourself. You seek understanding. You isolate because you want to be vulnerable. You isolate because you want to be raw. There's always this yearning to be felt on another level, wanting to be seen, wanting to be loved from within, and not anything else, because the universal truth is you will never be understood. And so no matter how much praise or hate you get from the outside, your opinion is last. Your stamp of approval is last. By the end of the day, you go to sleep with some kind of a belief that you build around your self-talk. You've been telling yourself some kind of a story all day, and no matter how much love you got from the outside, no matter how much hate you got from the outside, your reaction is last. It's like you're a creative director in your movie, while you're also an actor. It really depends. This imbalance is very unique to every person. Some people unconsciously identify just like the actor, and they just act automatically. They don't think they have any right to speak or create this story. They can't improvise. They just automatically move through this life. Some people have this imbalance in their life, thinking that they're just the creative director. So they're just hoping for the best, just creating a picture and not doing anything. I realized that I need to understand and feel it and act as if I'm a creative director and an actor in my own movie. That no matter how much love I get from the outside, it really doesn't matter. No matter how many people tell me that I'm smart, intelligent, beautiful, I have so much potential, I talk with so much conviction, it doesn't change how I think about myself. It really doesn't have any weight. The only actual opinion that matters to me, the only actual thought that I go to sleep with is my own. The last word is mine because I'm the creative director of this shit. So it really matters to me to master the skill of self-talk, because I would love to listen to people's opinions and for them to matter. But I can't, because at this point, I mean, it was like that. It's no longer that bad. But when I used to tell myself that I'm smart, intelligent, beautiful, talented, got so much potential, it didn't mean anything. My words were worth nothing in my own head. So me convincing myself that I'm this, and that didn't hold any weight. So how could any compliments or hate mean anything? I was always wanting to be seen from some kind of a different light, but I couldn't even take the compliment because I couldn't take the compliment from myself. You can't physically welcome reassurance and praise and love from other people if you don't approve that same thing from yourself from within. So now that we get that self-talk is the key part of winning the war in your mind, we need to fix it. And how to fix it, how to make people's opinions credible, how to make the love that you receive, the positive comments and compliments and any kind of encouraging words or reassurance, how to make it mean anything is to hear it from yourself. You need to envision what would you want to hear from people that would encourage you. How would it make you feel? And use it on yourself, on your own. So for example, imagine you're running a race and there are your loved ones, your friends and family, I don't know, whoever you love, sitting in the back and rooting for you and screaming, you know, you're gonna do this, I believe in you, you're powerful, you're gonna win. Even if you never heard these words in your life, how would it make you feel? And you know this feeling. For some reason, these feelings are planted within us from the start. You know how love feels. You have it within you. That means that you can accumulate it and see it outside. One day, it will happen. But get to work. Get to work. How can you make yourself feel this way? Look and listen. Actually write down things that you can tell yourself. Not on this stupid looking in the mirror and telling yourself that you're beautiful, but actually anytime you get a doubtful thought, anytime you tell yourself, this YouTube shit is, what am I doing even? Like, this is cringe. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I don't understand why I'm talking with a microphone in my hand. What is this? I hear this thought and I think, what would I want to hear from my mom right now? That I don't want to hear from my mom, but I want to hear from myself. I want to change this conversation in my mind. How would it make me feel? Okay, this way, I'm gonna tell myself this. And so I'm consciously picking a thought that I want to plant in my mind and I repeat it in my head. You know why this talking to yourself in the mirror doesn't work? Because cognitive dissonance is a thing. It's basically your belief is so rooted, it's your reality so much that no matter what you tell yourself, you just can't believe it. When something is objectively wrong, for example, your leg is broken, and you're telling yourself, I'm healthy, my leg is fine, it's cognitive dissonance. You can't accept, you can't believe that something is some type of way if it's clearly broken. Understand that your mind is just like your explore page on your Instagram. Anything that you tell yourself, anything that you're trashing yourself with, anything that you consume the most, you think about the most, will pop up on your For You page or your explore page. Actually experiment, take your phone right now and think, I want to see puppies and not brain rot memes on my reels. You can just focus on puppies all day, and tomorrow you'll have more puppies on your For You page. That's exactly how your mind works. So even if you don't believe in this concept, you can fix the cognitive dissonance by understanding how it works. Just cleaning your feed a little bit, unfollowing some people, following more people that you like, it's alchemy. The fourth way to stop this war in your mind and to win it is to become a listener of the self-talk. So you're the creative director as much as you're the actor. And the actor needs to be open to listen, careful, needs to execute, needs to be patient, needs to be professional. Submissively listen and act, you know what I mean? It has to be a collaboration. It can't just be you screaming at yourself, just like I told you. You're not going to sell anything to anyone if you're trying to convince them. You have to be interesting. You have to be an interesting idea in their mind. So the possibility of the outcome being positive and the self-doubt slowly dissolving from your mind needs to be interesting enough for you to even look in its direction. How can you convince yourself that it can be beautiful? You can write down the feelings that you want to feel. And as stupid as it sounds, it really works because you create space for opportunity, for blessings to come when you push the doubt down. It's super simple. It can be, I want to feel happy today. I want to feel supported today. I want to buy a kilogram of green apples today. It can be anything. So writing down how you actually want to feel will create an alliance with creative director and the actor and you, with the speaker and the listener of the self-talk. So you will create an idea that will connect them, that will make them both interested in collaborating with each other. You need to make the actor submit to your support without pressuring them. You have to make them realize that you are a safe, loving voice, that it's safe to listen to it, that it's safe to believe it, by creating a connection. You can, sometimes people hate themselves so much. They hate the idea of it getting better because they don't trust God. They don't trust the future. How you can kind of reconnect yourself with this part of yourself that sees things from a different light is by showing yourself affection. There are some ways that are called like high five technique. I hate it, actually. I tried it a few times. It doesn't work with me, but it's proven to work because it was like an experiment. Studies have shown people were high-fiving their reflection in the mirror every morning, and it has shown that they had more self-confidence, they were moving with more direction, they were more positive, they felt like they were connected to themselves, they had more trust in the future, they felt like they were a team with themselves, they felt more connected and more hopeful. So it doesn't work for me because I just feel like it's so stupid. But the way that I connect myself to my positive voice, to someone that I believe in, basically how this works is like you wouldn't high-five someone that you don't trust. You wouldn't high-five someone that you don't respect. I'm so awkward that I actually would because I can't reject people. That's kind of my thing. But I definitely wouldn't hug people that I don't trust, that I don't love, that I don't respect. So I hug myself instead. Sometimes I just, in order to form a connection with myself and make this self-talk credible, I hug myself and I'm like, yeah, you got this, You create a connection with yourself that is more physical, that is more biological. You create a safe opportunity for your actor, for your listener of the self-talk to submit to your support. Yeah, this is a game of convincing your mind that it's fine. And I feel like it's beautiful. It's almost like learning parenting with yourself before having kids. Literally like that, because there are these turns on this road that you don't expect. There are these ways that you can get trapped in. There are these overthinking loops, panic attacks, anxiety, beautiful things. I feel like if we properly figure this out, our generation has so much potential to raise a beautiful world. So please, let's lock in and figure our minds out. We have so much potential. I'm actually excited because if I'm having these thoughts, it means that I'm not the only one having these thoughts. And it means that our world can be saved.
The war is not physical anymore.